Getting set now for our second moto in the 125s. You see Stefan Roncada, who simply dominated moto number 1, off to the left. Right next to him is Brock Sellards. And number 32, just to his left, of course, is Danny Smith of FMF Honda. So it's FMF Honda and Yamaha of Troy sandwiching each other. We're ready to go for the second moto. The gate drops. Whoa, Roncada slipping on that cement. And believe it or not, it's Curry once again getting the whole shot, but taking the lead on the KTM is Roderick Kane. Lamson with a not bad start this time around. Lots of congestion over the first turn. Travis Preston, 34, got hung up. That's Keith Johnson coming over the side. And Roderick Kane from France on the KTM is our leader right now. He's steadily improved, Ryan Hughes, throughout the season.
Yeah, I know those KTMs in Europe are really fast. Every start they're a top 3, and they're leading the points over there, so I'm not surprised that thing's out in front.
For those of you just tuning in, Ryan Hughes, our guest announcer here on this day at Unadilla, taking the place of David Bailey, who's currently training very, very hard for the Ironman. Glad you could sit in. Unfortunately for Ryan, he's available because of an injury.
The broken wrist that I suffered in Portugal, which was the second round of the GP, kind of set my season back, and I kind of got some bad information from the doctor about coming back soon, but I had to let it rest up, and I'm going to race the last 3 GPs and get some momentum going, and then hopefully bring the donations back to the USA where it belongs.
Oh, those are good words, Ryan. But congratulations on last year, too, because on what I would say would not be the top factory machinery, you had such a great year, leading to the job of one of the greatest teams in Europe right now. Back to the race here. Brock Sellards, number 18, battling it out with Travis Pastrana. They're battling for third. Casey Johnson in second place. Casey has had a lot of good first motos, but has always had trouble in the second moto this year. His best was a 5th, and that was a 2nd and a 12 in the 2 motos at Glen Helen.
Yeah, Casey has a lot of speed, and but he just has bad luck. I don't know for what reason. Well, I kind of have the same thing. Got a lot of speed, but some people just have bad luck, and you just got to keep on pushing.
Travis Pastrana making a straightaway power move on Brock Sellards. Takes over 3rd position. And here comes Sellards back in the corner, but lots of momentum up that hill for Travis.
Yeah, Travis went inside, and Brock went outside, hit the berm, and kind of slowed down his momentum, and you can't do that on the 125, and that's why Pastrana went by him and jumped so far off the double, too.
The big jump off the double. Here's number 120 on the KTM, Roderick Kane. He is our leader right now. We'll be back in a moment with more 125 action. Looking back at the first lap here at Unadilla, the second moto for the 125s is very significant because Paul Curry and Steve Lamson went down, and as you see here, it took Lammy a long time to get back moving on the track again. So Lamson now not only has to be thinking about losing more points to the leader Roncada, but also, hey, he's got Pastrana on his tail for second place. Speaking of Pastrana, number 199's in a battle for second place right now with Casey Johnson. Cutting to the inside. Pastrana moves into second. Kane is in front of him in the lead, and that's Sellards in 4th. So Travis Pastrana moving quickly up into second place. Travis just coming off a second place overall at Redbud.
It's like Pastrana's picking some good lines. He's riding real relaxed, real smooth, not letting the bumps bounce him around. And all the other riders are kind of holding on a little tight, not just flowing with the track. And that's what good Pastrana. That's how good Pastrana is.
And Debbie, his mother, encouraging him on. Talk about stress. He looks stressed out at that one.
Having a kid like that can jump like that, I'd be real stressed out.
Well, since the 10th place overall at Sacramento, he's done extremely well getting back into the points chase. Here's Casey Johnson now trying to hold off Brock Sellards, and this is for 3rd. Casey with an outstanding start. We'll see if he can hold on. And that's Roncada behind Brock Sellards. So Roncada, after that slip and slide start off the cement, is back into the action. Yamaha Troy's Eric Kehoe is back to us. He's the team leader. Done a heck of a job with this support team.
Yeah, here comes Roncada. He knows the track. He's riding. He's getting momentum from the first moto, so I expect him to come up through the pack very quickly.
Eric Kehoe told me in yesterday's practice that the crew under the tent gets more nervous than Stefan. Stefan has just got a cool hand loop.
Yeah, all my time hanging out with Stefan, it just seems like he's just happy-go-lucky, just whatever happens and just goes with it. It seems like he's having a lot of fun right now, and that's the most important part of racing a motorcycle or anything you do. If you're not having fun, you shouldn't be out there, and the results are going to show.
That's another thing Kehoe told me. He says this guy doesn't like to work out and practice if he's not having fun, and that's been the real value of his new trainer, Alan Gerke, who was a neighbor friend who works out with him, and they're having a lot more fun out of it.
Yeah, if you're not having fun, working out just becomes a chore, and it can't become a chore. You got to want to do it. You can't just go through the motions, because each time you go through the motions, you're not improving. So you got to want to go out there and run and bicycle and ride your motorcycle to make improvements.
Casey Johnson, Stefan Roncada, Yamaha Troy riders battling it out for third right now. Our leader continues to be KTM's Roderick Payne. A young Frenchman doing a fine job. KTM has one national 125 victory this year. That was Kelly Smith. Let's go to Davey.
Ryan, you guys are leading the national moto.
Yeah, we rode good that first moto. We came from dead last. He was starting his bike on the line, so I know he's got some speed. I just hope he's not thinking too much out there, just riding.
Right now the French motocross seem to be taking over America with Roncada in the 125, Tortelli and Billman in the 250, but your guy, Roderick, he doesn't get a lot of play. Maybe this is just what he needed.
Yeah, for sure. We haven't had too many good races the last 2 or 3, but we're getting everything worked out, and it's going to be good here.
Well, right now you got Pastrana coming. Are you going to let Hot Rod know?
I told him that, before we came out that Roncada was, on a different pace at first moto, but he knows he can run with pretty much everyone else out here, so we'll see. We'll see.
The two 125 Yamaha Troy bikes taking that corner very, very well and smooth as Roncada looks to the inside on Casey Johnson. Tries to pull up bar to bar and zips right by him.
Yeah, I don't know what Casey was doing going so far out there. I mean, that was, 20, 30 feet different. Roncada just came up the inside, grabbed a nice rut with no bumps, and went right by it. And that's the trick to this track. You got to find the smooth parts, and you can see right here is, he hits a couple bumps, but right in the inside is so much smoother, and you hold more momentum coming up the hill.
And so Roncada, making it look easy now, has Pastrana right in front of him. That's 1, 2, and 3 in this race. Payne, Pastrana, and Roncada.
That just shows how fast Roncada's going, because Pastrana, he's a fast rider, and Roncada caught him like he was on a different track. So we'll see if he can get around him and pull away, and then that'll prove it.
Be interesting to see what Travis Pastrana's reaction is going to be.
Probably he had a lot of fun, I could imagine.
Roncada following the same line as Pastrana. Now goes up a little bit more on the right edge than Pastrana going up that hill. Payne starting to pull a little bit away from the two now as they're getting concerned about one another. Taking the inside cut. Does he have the power? Bar to bar, the two are going at it now. Who's going to give way? Oh, Pastrana has the inside berm, and now Roncada tries to the outside. Oh, great racing here at Unadilla in our second moto of 125s. Third moto of the afternoon, the second moto for the 125s underway as Roderick Payne holds the lead, but the battle right behind him continues between Pastrana and Roncada. Ooh, they start rubbing a little plastic that time. Number 26, Stefan Roncada, showing a wheel to Travis Pastrana. And they're looking at each other. Pastrana looking over like, hey, what are you doing there?
Yeah, it's kind of fun sometimes when you go over the jumps, look over at each other, just kind of, you're up in the air doing nothing, so you might as well have a little bit of fun. keeps you relaxed, too. You're not always concentrating on the track, and just going out there having some fun is always good.
Here's another look at it. Pretty straightforward. Pastrana teaching Roncada English, Roncada replying in French. Having a little conversation when they were up there, it looked like. Stefan Roncada now has his sights on the fellow Frenchman, number 120, Roderick Kane. And there's no question in my mind, Ryan, that he's not going to catch him.
No, he definitely pulled away from the other guys he passed, even Pastrana. That's pretty surprising, but you know, it's not going to take too much time for him to get around him, I don't think, and then I think he's going to pull away with the way he's riding. You can see his corner speed is so much better, and how he just kind of floats over the track. Everybody else seems like they're going inside the bumps, and he's kind of floating on top of them.
Making a real ruddy, difficult track look smooth. That's a lot of talent in that kid. This would be his 8th Moto win of the year. But more impressively, it would be his 6th Moto win in a row.
Yeah, everybody, you know, started counting them out, even myself. You know, I thought for sure this would be his last year, but you know, that surgery that he had. I mean, I'm not suggesting that every young rider that gets arm pumped to go get surgery, because that's not the case. Most of the time, it's just nerves. But if it's a constant problem, maybe they should get checked out and not till you turn, you know, get into more of your later teens, not when you're a young kid. Like some of these fathers probably have mini bike kids getting surgery.
Well, number 26 was diagnosed with the compartment syndrome, they call it, where the muscles, they swell and limit the blood flow in the arms. What they do is they go in and cut the lining in the muscle, and it frees that up somehow. But Stefan Roncada's boss, Eric Kehoe, said it's worked almost more psychologically on him than physically.
Yeah, I don't see how it can help. I mean, it might help a little bit, but I think that you know you get surgery and you know you're not going to get arm pump. In your mind, you're more confident, and that's where you get most of your arm pump, is just being nervous and holding on tight. And this track would bring it out especially.
Well, it didn't take long. After 6 laps, Stefan Roncada has put himself back out in front. Roderick Kane moving back to second. He's going to have his hands full with Travis Pastrana. It looks like the track is just getting better and better as the day goes on, Ryan.
Yeah, it looks like it's drying out, you know, with all these bikes going around it, and you know, it looks like a little sun or maybe some wind. It starts to dry out, and the lines get a little bit better, a little bit more consistent.
You start seeing a lot of rocks popping up through there. They become almost like ballistic missiles.
Yeah, they're getting down through the soft stuff into the hard stuff now.
Roncada and Kane 1 and 2, with Travis Pastrana in third. Casey Johnson and Sellards battling for 4th, and then number 7-11, Talon Bolin in 6th place. Can Roncada hold on and keep his string alive? We'll be right back to find out. From Unadilla, the Chevy Trucks AMA Motocross round number 7. It is the second and final moto of the day for the 125s. Stefan Roncada is our leader. Roderick Kane, number 120, is having his hands full right now with Travis Pastrana in the battle for second place. Pastrana, he'll take no enemies. Chooses a very good rut to get into and just fires right through it to have momentum in that corner.
I don't know if Roderick is getting tired or something wrong with his bike. I heard a bit, some other parts in the race that it seems like it might be sputtering, but I don't know. We'll have to see.
The rain now starting to fall from the skies here at Unadilla. You can see with the different light angle here on the camera, it's starting to really come down now.
Yeah, I raced a race like that in '95. You know, the first moto was a little bit dry, and then the second moto you're expecting to be dry. You don't have roll-offs on or anything prepared for the mud. Then all of a sudden the sky's just open, and you're like, what? What do I do? And you don't even really have mud tires on either, so that makes a whole different race out there. But, you know, the guys that are out in front are going to have the best time because they don't get roosted by all the mud. And it can rain in New York, and rain hard.
Well, Casey's in third. Let's take another look at the pass. Boy, delicate balance there for Casey as he went on the inside of the corner, Ryan, and then Kane was able to hold on for a while.
Yeah, but up the hill, just you can tell, I think there's something wrong with his bike because another bike shouldn't go past his that fast, and these guys are just eating them alive. So I suggest there's something wrong with it, and I think you can hear it sputter actually a little bit.
We'll have Davey check it out down below. Tane falling in behind, as now he's in a battle to hold on to 4th position. What's Ricky Carmichael thinking right now with all this rain coming down and the second 250 moto coming up?
Yeah, I know he doesn't like the mud, but you know, Ricky's riding good in the first moto. I think he was even probably a little faster than Tortelli, but we'll see here real soon. And with Roderick, it's hard to say anything bad because the bike's running bad and people are just going right by him.
Brian Davey Coombs has confirmed your suspicion. It is the bike problem with Roderick Tane as Stefan Roncada starts his final lap. Get out the broom for the 3rd straight time.
6 motos straight. That's telling everybody you're fast and you're in shape and you want to win the championship. And like I say again, that really surprised me. I never thought that he would do it, but he's doing it in convincing order right there with the thumbs up. That shows everybody that he's confident.
Well, finishing once again in front of Pastrana and Lampman having his problems. Steve Lampson having his problems today.
Yeah, I thought he'd do a lot better on this track, you know, because Steve is tough and he's raced here a few times, but you know, just you can't control some things. Maybe he just had some bad luck, people running into him, or just a bad day. But I expect that Steve will be back hard the next couple of races.
Roncada came into this race with a 31-point lead. And after this race, that's one race after the halfway point. Hands in the air, checkered flag, and Roncada sweeps the 125 event here in Unadilla. That is his 8th moto win of the season and his 4th overall. Roncada, Pastrana, and Casey Johnson, a fine performance, the top 3. Davey Coombs